Well, Black and White Network fans, can you believe it's actually been 2 years since Jussie Smollett was convicted of staging a hate crime? Now, he was actually convicted in the very, very blue city of Chicago. If you can find one MAGA person out there in Chicago, I would be stunned. This man hired a couple of black Africans to put on MAGA hats and carry around bleach in a polar vortex in Chicago. They wanted him to call him racial slurs, beat him up, that kind of thing. And Jussie Smollett actually waited for the police to actually come and investigate with the noose still around his neck. Yeah, it was like a little bitty rope, a big loop. He looked like a fool. But his story fell apart fast because nobody actually believed him. What are the odds that someone would actually be waiting on him in an alley in Chicago when it's like 1,000 below zero in I believe he actually lives like in a really, really pro LGBTQ neighborhood. Yeah, 2 a.m. Nobody believes this, guys. Nobody believed it. Now, Kamala Harris was believing Jussie Smollett, but then, his story started actually falling apart and she started to distance herself from him. Remember Ellen Page as well? Yeah, Ellen Page, now known as Elliot Page, different story, I digress, was out there being all for supporting Jussie Smollett. This man went through trial, got convicted. The judge spent like 45 minutes just destroying Jussie Smollett, sentenced him to 150 days in prison, and Jussie Smollett only spent less than 6 days in jail. Well, guys, we got some news here because Jussie Smollett appealed his conviction and it did not work. Look at this, guys. On the Post Millennial here, Jussie Smollett headed back to jail after conviction for race hoax attack upheld on appeal. Now, this should not be too shocking. Guys, if you can actually go out there in Chicago and a judge and jury will convict you for a race hoax, you know you're in trouble. You know you are in trouble. I mean, even the people, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there in Chicago with serious TDS, they did not believe him. The judge said that, hey, you're on that stand line left and right. I'm going to send you to jail for 150 days. And then remember this, Jussie Smollett had this to say when he actually found out he was going to jail. He put on an acting performance. Remember this? Let's play it.
Suicidal. Okay? I am not suicidal. I am innocent, and I am not suicidal. If I did this, then it means that I stuck my fist in the fears of Black Americans in this country for over 400 years and the fears of the LGBTQ community.
Nah, bro. You don't get to speak for black people. For one thing, man, you're half white. All of a sudden now, Jussie Smollett wants to be black. Okay? Just throwing it out there.
Your Honor, I respect you and I respect the jury, but I did not do this. And I am not suicidal. And if anything happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself. And you must all know that. I respect you, Your Honor. I respect your decision. Jail time. I am not suicidal.
Okay. Mr. Uche, let me inquire, are there any post-sentencing motions you care to present? Court is adjourned.
I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal.
Yeah. So right there, guys. Right there. Jussie Smollett is going to the big house. County jail, most likely. 150 days. I mean, it's possible, man, that Jussie Smollett, I mean, he's already done 6 days. So what? 144 days left. Jussie Smollett could actually be out in a month. Probably could. But Jussie Smollett definitely ain't built for jail. I don't think he is. But he should have thought of that before he actually decided to stage a fake hate crime. There's a lot of debate on who actually has the worst form of TDS. I mean, honestly, I forgot about Jussie Smollett for the last 2 years. This guy's number one. Because the people that you actually think has TDS the worst, I don't think they would actually do this. I'm serious, man. I don't think the worst people with TDS would actually go this far to actually stage a fake hate crime. Now, I did see where also that Jussie Smollett is actually going to appeal, I believe, to the Supreme Court. Nah, you might as well forget it, man. You might as well just do your time. That's it. Now, his appeal was rejected by a panel of 3 judges, and the ruling was 2-1 in favor of upholding the conviction. Yeah. And I'm willing to bet that most likely the 3 judges were probably all Democrats. I mean, nobody wants anything to do with Jussie Smollett. Nobody. I mean, the people in Chicago, nothing but Democrats, did not believe Jussie Smollett. I've talked to people. I've talked to black people out here in Texas about Jussie Smollett. Nobody believed him. Nobody. I mean, it was just so outlandish. And the Osendaro brothers, remember, they actually had a Fox Nation, I don't want to call it a special, but they detailed exactly what went down. I mean, one of the brothers was actually trying not to hit Jussie so hard. He actually said he actually tried to hold back the punch because he didn't want to hurt him. I mean, Jussie Smollett, man, definitely has the worst type of TDS. You mean to tell me, honestly, that in Chicago, you couldn't find a couple of white dudes to actually partake in your scheme? Why would you actually go out there and get black people? I'm pretty sure that there's some white people in Chicago that have severe TDS that wanted the money, hated Trump. They probably wouldn't have been down with this. Maybe, just maybe, people, the jury probably would have believed you. I don't know. But your story fell completely apart, man. Jussie Smollett, maybe he can act, but obviously, man, he's not good at creating a story. That's why, I guess that's why he's actually an actor and he's not a writer or director. I mean, this man is a disaster. I believe he should do every single one of those days of 150 days or 144 since he's actually already done 6 days. And he lost his mind. He's probably going to try to pull the card that, hey, I'm going crazy, that kind of thing, to get out again. Maybe he'll get out again. I don't know. But I believe that this man should do every single day of his sentence. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.